Hello, welcome back. If this is your first time here, welcome in. Normally, I'd like to keep this channel a positive place and keep my ranting to a minimum. However, that's what we're going to do in today's video. It's a bloody rant. Why am I ranting today? Because I've had enough of my fellow JRPG enthusiasts ranting and complaining about how The Legend of Heroes Kuro no Kiseki looks like a PS3 game. Are you fucking kidding me? Now, before we get into the meat of this video, I am no way saying PS3 games are ugly. In fact, a good number of them have aged incredibly well. Say what you will about Final Fantasy XIII and its two sequels, those games are still pretty. Also, I'd argue that PS3 level graphics are now the standard for most indie titles, and you don't generally see numpties complaining about indies, now do you? Also, have you really seen what Kuro looks like in action? It looks better than a good number of PS4 games. Also, give PS3 games a real look. They look nowhere near this gorgeous. Your average JRPG of that vintage would look akin to the two White Knight Chronicle games, Eternal Sonata, yes, that actually released on PS3 despite being a 360 exclusive for a bit, or titles like Fairy Fencer F or Tales of Xillia 1 and 2. The outliers like Resonance of Fate, Final Fantasy XIII and its sequels, Valkyria Chronicles, and Ni no Kuni are just that. Outliers. They are beautiful games, no doubt about it. But those games were special for a reason. The remasters for Valkyria Chronicles and Ni no Kuni, while they look sharper, don't look exponentially better. That's just how good they looked initially. Kuro no Kiseki looks a good deal better than even the remasters. It looks at least as good as Tales of Arise, which people were lauding just a year and a half ago for its graphical prowess. So, if people are lauding one and knocking Kuro for its graphics, it really makes zero sense. Falcom clearly invested a lot of money into the new engine, one that's intended to run on modern hardware. If you look at some of the interviews regarding the development of this engine, you'll see Falcom was targeting performance on next-generation hardware. Yes, the game did release on PlayStation 4 first, however, less than a year later it came to PS5 and PC. Clearly, those versions just needed a little more time in the oven, and yes, the PS5 version does look a bit better than the PS4 version, which is to be expected. I'd chalk the lack of a massive improvement down to Falcom needing more time to learn the ins and outs of their new engine and the PS5 hardware, which was designed in-house, this engine by the way, which also brings us to our next point. New engines, whether they be in-house or not, have learning curves. While Falcom's new engine is in-house, it's going to take time for everyone to really learn what the engine can do. Kuro was the first full title to feature this engine. Falcom did use the engine, however, at the very end for a cutscene for Trails into Reverie, and that footage should be popping up now. Compare that scene plus the footage from the Kuro trailers against the rest of Trails into Reverie or the rest of the back portion of the Erebonian arc. If any game looks like a PS3 game, it's those three titles, which use Sony's Fire Engine, which coincidentally was designed for the PS3 initially in 2003. Of course a 20-year-old engine's going to look ancient. As Falcom gets more and more used to this new piece of tech, we're going to see larger and larger improvements. Just take a look at the screenshots of East 10, which will be popping up on screen now. Same engine, big improvement from a fidelity standpoint, even if Falcom will be targeting decent performance on the Nintendo Switch for that release. It still shows the lessons they've learned from the first two Kuro games. Overall, Falcom are doing a great job with their new engine, and I'd argue Kuro looks like a mid to late PS4 title. Will Falcom ever be at the bleeding edge of graphical fidelity? Fuck no. Will they still make games that are beautiful to look at because of their art style? Yes. Yes, they will. That's actually down to Falcom's core design ethos. They make games that are fun first and foremost, with amazing narratives. The graphical prowess is always secondary, and that's part of their charm. If they made their games as graphically beautiful as, say, Square Enix, it would cause Falcom to lose their soul, so to speak. But what are your thoughts? Let me know in the comments. Also, don't forget to like and subscribe. Also, I have a second channel where I'll be reviewing movies with TheMadBelmont. Check it out, and keep up with me on social media. Links are in the description, and until next time, keep blazing that trail.